Welcome to the Fear and Greed Business News Afternoon Report for Thursday, the 11th of July, 2024. I'm Sean Aylmer. Every afternoon, we've got the 5 stories that happened today that you need to know about. Story number 1, the benchmark S&P ASX 200 closed up nearly 1% today to 7,890 points. That's just 7 points below the record close of 7,897 points back in late March. Commonwealth Bank led the way today, hitting a new high among the large caps. CSL, Wesfarmers, Fortescue Metals Group, Woodside and Woolies all did well. In fact, 75% of the ASX 200 closed higher. It was a good day for the uranium miners, with Deep Yellow, Boss Energy and Paladin Energy among the best performers. Overall, the best was biotech Telix Pharmaceuticals. Its share price finished up 10% after it flagged changes to regulations in the US regarding payments for diagnostic radiotherapy treatments. The gold stocks also did well, with Perseus Mining and Newmont rising sharply. Story number 2, Prime Minister Anthony Albanese said gas has an important role to play in Australia's energy future as the inevitable shift to renewables occurs. Mr Albanese said to ensure energy security during the transition period, gas is needed for firming capacity, which basically means keeping the grid stable given the intermittency of wind, solar and hydro power. Mr Albanese also spooked the need for batteries. He also took a swipe at the opposition's pro-nuclear stance, saying it doesn't stack up economically, citing the International Energy Agency, saying Australia's comparative advantage is in renewables, i.e. not nuclear. The Prime Minister was speaking in Queensland and covered a range of topics, including Joe Biden. When asked about the US President, he said dealings with Mr Biden had always been productive, but he didn't want to be drawn in much further. Story number 3, in the world of economics, the Commonwealth Bank Household Spending Indicator released today indicates that renters are pulling back on spending more than mortgage holders. Renter spending was down nearly 1% last month, whereas outlays by mortgage holders was up 1.5%. For those fully owning their homes, it was up about 2%. Household spending has been weak overall, although it picked up 0.6% over the month of June to be 3.9% higher over the past year. Also today, Assistant Minister for Trade and Manufacturing Tim Ayres said shipping around the world is being buffeted by conflict in the Middle East, including actions by Yemen's Houthi militants. He said the problems are pushing up prices for Australian consumers and businesses because they're having an impact on the duration and cost of shipping travel to Australia. Story number 4, ANZ is under fire for how it operates in the government bond market after allegations it overstated the value of government bonds it traded by more than $50 billion over 12 months, boosting its prospects of winning lucrative mandates issuing Commonwealth debts. The bank admitted to the Australian Office of Financial Management, which manages government debts, that figures it had supplied detailing the volume of turnover had been incorrect. This is according to a report in the Financial Review. As one of 19 market makers for Australian bonds, ANZ is required to submit quarterly figures to the agency. The AOFM selects the largest traders for issuances. ANZ initially said it had facilitated $137.6 billion in government bond trades for clients in the year ended June 2023. The correct number, however, was $83.2 billion, a difference of nearly 65%. ANZ's trading of government bonds is already under intense scrutiny from both the AOFM and the Australian Securities and Investments Commission. The division is being investigated by the regulator for allegedly manipulating the benchmark 10-year futures rate when it was appointed a manager for a $14 billion government bond sale last year. This latest allegation does not help ANZ's prospects if it wants to keep working in that government bond market. And story number 5, Joe Biden is in trouble with senior Democrats, including Senate Majority Leader Chuck Schumer, saying they are open to replacing him ahead of the November presidential election. As many Democrats have pushed to have Joe Biden replaced, Chuck Schumer, one of the most senior members of the party, has stood by the president. But Axios is reporting that Schumer is telling donors he's open to replacing Mr. Biden. It came after party heavyweight Nancy Pelosi said the president had a decision to make about his future, and actor George Clooney said Mr. Biden needs to be replaced as the party's presidential candidate. Clooney hosted a large fundraiser for Biden in California last month. Clearly, the drums are beating louder and louder for Joe Biden. That's it for the afternoon report for Thursday, the 11th of July, 2024. Don't forget to hit follow on the podcast and find Fear and Greed on LinkedIn, Instagram, X, TikTok and Facebook. Join Michael Thompson and I tomorrow morning for the Fast 5 by Fear and Greed, the top 5 business stories you need to know in just 5 minutes. I'm Sean Aylmer. Enjoy your evening.